This is David Moss, and we're working on the 1980 Pontiac Trans Am Restomod. And as you can see, I've cut out the extra holes that I need that rust to get them all. Of course, we showed you last time we got back here, almost done. It's looking decent. Got this almost done, just needs the body work. And then you can see that's cut out. I'm going to go ahead and cut this out right here because you can see the rust, and then I'm going to touch that up with some stuff and make it look better, and then we'll put another panel here. So I got that, and that will be all the metal work that I need to do on this car for right now. And then of course my beautiful wife is working on little things like the headlight housings. She's putting some rust neutralizer on everything. Right there is actually the gas cap cover that pops out, and getting it all taken care of so we can prime it and paint it and get it to where we don't have to worry about it rusting anymore. And like I said, we'll get all this cut out. We're going to show what it looks like when we get it welded back in, some more body work, but figured I'd show that off also, just to show off real quick. We went ahead and we've got this completed. So now, remember how shaky it was before? Now you can see we put new body mounts, so all new body mounts. She's done, looking really good. Got the inside painted here, went ahead and cleaned it up, which was a job, real good. And then put some undercoating on it to get it all clean looking, no rust. And of course this here, we still got to paint this. We're gonna do this when we do the whole car, but I'm gonna go ahead and probably put some epoxy on it before it's over with. We've got the rust neutralizer on it to make it where it won't rust anymore, and any rust that was there that we couldn't get cleaned off because we couldn't see is actually now been neutralized, so that helps out a lot. Don't have to worry about rust going on. This thing's going to be a rust-free car when it's all said and done. And also to show, we're about to change the rims and tires. We got the stock ones, which are alright, but we're going different colors, so we're going to go with a different set of rims, throw these tires on. And for all you guys out there that don't have lifts, I'll say this, probably said it before in the video, you can build these poor man lifts, what I call them. And it cost me $106 in material to build these little crates. And then I've got 4 jack stands, and this thing's up pretty high. I mean, actually up pretty decently high as far as that goes. So okay, on this corner panel we decided to go ahead and cut it higher. I had it here, but we're going up to here because of the mere fact that there's a major, I guess it's a shape on it. You can see right here how that shape is right there, and I don't want to lose that. So I decided to just do the whole thing, because if I welded there, I could possibly lose it and warp that. So we're going to go up and probably do the same thing to the other side. You can see we cut the whole thing out. I want to show you what it looks like with it on there. I'm going to put it on real quick. Okay, here we are. I've got the piece on, and here's the issue I have with aftermarket. This thing lines up perfect, and then you can see, maybe you can't, yeah, let's focus. Look how farther out it is. So I'm going to have to beat this in or do something with it because it's that way all the way down. See that? Now I think about probably add some new metal, make that not so big deal, but this here, bit of a big deal. So I don't know if I want to add a little metal, make it do it lightly into that, or if I want to cut this and then, you know, cut a little slit, bring it over, tack it up to where it doesn't do it so dramatically, goes down here, because down here is not going to be a big deal. I mean, it's down there, and then do the same thing here, kind of cut it here, beat it, or just take a hammer to it. I'm not sure, because right now she's absolutely perfect, and then you run into the, I mean, that's good, and I had to use these clamps, which means I had to take the interior part off there to get in the hole to put those things in, and then you run into that right there. It's just it's aggravating, and it is what it is, but just trying to figure out how I want to do that, because I want this thing to look natural. And this is what you get with aftermarket. You get to figure out how to fix things that are just not quite perfect, and that's where we're at. This thing is just not quite perfect. The other issue is I don't know if I want it this far off, so I may take it off and trim that down a little bit so it's even, or I can leave it like that. And I don't know if it makes that big of a difference. I wish I had taken pictures, but it was all rotted out before, so I could know if it humped out or if it's actually flush. I do believe it humped out, but these are 80s cars, so it's not really gonna make big difference. I decided, like I said, to go all the way up here because this has this natural cave right here, and where I was cutting that was right there, and I don't want to lose it. It was such a pain on the back other side. We end up having to skin coat the whole thing, and I'm going to have to block sand it down. It's a lot of work, and I have to worry about losing this. So I don't want to lose that, so we're just going to, weld it up here. And then you can see I put some holes in it, and then I'm going to weld those in, then weld it across the bottom once I figure out what I'm doing with that. And then on the inside, just weld the inside up all the way down. And then that will set up nice, and you can see, I mean, that's pretty nice. I mean, it sits dead up against there. And when the door's shut, that's pretty. I mean, it could go right there is actually where it needs to be. And the problem is, like I said, with that there, you get your gap and you get your gap. So if I shove the gap over so it's not gapping on that side, I get that. And that's not going to fly. So we're going to go ahead and put it where it's supposed to be. I know you're going to say it comes in a little bit right there. I can move that. Sorry, lost it. I can move that over so it don't, but this is an 80s car. It doesn't have to be perfect. I can put a popsicle sticks in there to make sure it's even when I go to weld it, and then have to do the side on this to get it all straight. It's probably what I'm going to do. But just letting you know, this is where we're at. So it's set up. I'm not welding it yet. I'm still trying to get it dialed in the way I want, figure out how I want to do this. I'm thinking the best alternative is to simply cut here a little bit, then take some of that out, beat it over, make it line up against that so it lands in there like it's supposed to, and then grind it down, tack it up, and then go down here and maybe just add a piece of metal right here. You might think that's stupid, but what that would do is it would hide this, because if I do this again, it's going to change my curve a little bit. It's not going to come down like it should, but I might cut it. Well, I don't know yet. But if I could add some metal that I could just put right there, go in a curve, which I have a curve that would work for that, then that might be the best way to do it. But that's where we're at. We'll show it to you when we get it all welded. See, and once we get it all welded and taken care of, and I still got the other side. So I've got that patch panel done. It worked out nicely. Couldn't get anything behind it, so it does on the edge here kind of go in a little bit right there. Not much, but trying to keep the less body filler I have to use. I mean, I'll use the Duraflex for that, which is half Bondo, half fiberglass, and then we'll come up with skim coat it. But I'd rather not use any. I wish it was perfect. We wouldn't have to use anything, but of course, there's no such thing as perfect on these. And actually, if you look right here, you'll notice that this thing's actually pretty thick with a skim coat before from the factory. That's actually, you can't see it, but it's a good size skim coat that they did, and you can see it's yellow. But it's already been skim coated before. So we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to skim coat like I did the other side, and we knock it down. When we get done, it'll be nice. It's not going to crack or anything, but I really like to not have to do all that extra body work. So we're going to try to get this thing done right, so I don't have to do a lot of extra body work. And we'll show you what it looks like when it's welded up, and we'll go from there. So here we are. I got it tacked up. I decided what we're going to do, and you can see I put these things in here like I talked about before, so it's pretty much flush and level. It's level as I can get in anyway. But look, that is pretty nice looking at the door. I got about the same gap here, and what I did was I cut it, and then I beat it over. Of course, you can see the one tack, and sorry about the crappy tack there, but it didn't want to hold. And then I'm going to weld this, tack it all up, and then did the same thing down here. So all together, and I beat it with a hammer, and it did good. I think that's going to be nice. You won't be able to tell once it's done. And then, of course, the doorway looks pretty good. I like it. So I've got it all tacked up. Now all I got to do is just weld it out, tack each spot, and this takes a while. Make sure I do not overheat it, because these things warp, especially these new pieces of panel. They're not quite as thick. Of course, this actual piece here had 2 or 3 under it. If you look at the original, had 2. So a little bit easier to warp, so you just take your time, tack, and tack, you know what I mean, and tack, and you walk it, and of course you can see, I just put a little tack. I don't fill this whole thing up right off the bat. I'm going to start tacking it slowly but surely. I don't want to warp it. That's going to hold that nice and tight, and then that holds that. So this thing's going to be nice and done, so it's all set up, ready to go. So once I get these tacked in a little bit more, then I'll pull the squares out, and then go ahead and finish her up. I just want to show you where we're at, what we decided to do. I think it looks pretty good overall. I mean, you definitely, I don't think you'd be able to tell. The door looks pretty good. Everything looks pretty nice. So just showing it, see what we're going to do. So we'll show you what it looks like when we get done. Okay, we got the patch panel put back in. As you can see, we got it welded up. It came out looking really nice. It's taken care of. It's nice and welded in. It's solid. It's not warped. Got to do a little skim coat right here. You can see they already had some skim coat. We'll skim coat it, bulk sand it. We do the other side. Now I just got one last patch panel to put in. And the last patch panel is on the other side. Like I said, I'm going to do what I did last time. I'm going to go ahead and cut this up higher, so I don't have to worry about warping that. I've got plenty of good metal for that. So we're going to cut this, do the patch panel, and then that will be the last patch panel. So we'll come back to when we got it done, and then we'll see what it looks like. This is David Moss with the 1980 Pontiac Trans Am Restomod. Unfortunately, I videotaped us painting the engine, doing all this extra work, and I don't know, end up losing all the video. So we're going to just do a quick recap because we're about to start the body work. You can see we got the molding off. We're going to take the glass out, etc., etc. But you can see that side is done. This side, there is a little bit of a surface rust, but that's going to be knocked off. And that's because of the mere fact that it's been underneath the tarp for about a month now. So we did that side, and of course you can see we got this side. It came out really well. Nice looking. Like I said, we're about to start the body work. Started sanding this already. Get ready to do the top end. And then here's the motor. It is painted, put together. Unfortunately, I had video of us painting it and putting it together, dropping the motor in, and all of it's gone. So you know how that goes. I'm an idiot apparently. But so I just wanted to show where we're at and get an update. So we're about there. We're hoping to have this ready by this car show this next weekend. This is not July. We're into August. So it didn't go as quick as I was wanting or smooth. I got new rims and tires on her, of course, now instead of the stock ones. I think they look a lot better. It's coming along pretty nicely. Unfortunately, the whole family got sick, so it put us down for few weeks, and here we are trying to catch back up. But she's looking pretty good, and we'll get some more video of us from this point on. Like I said, sorry about losing the engine work. My wife painted the engine, did a great job on it. We put the cam and such in it. I've got some of that video, but that's it. But yeah, so we're getting her done. We're gonna get working on. Now, as you can see, we got a lot of work done. All the metal work's done on it. We've got it epoxy primered, except for the doors, the hood, which don't have the hood on, the nose on it, or the trunk yet, or the bumper yet. But the reason why is I got to buy new doors. I'm going with the 6.6 shaker hood, so I'm not going to epoxy those. We're going to be replacing those, so no sense. I still got to get these put on correctly. They're just on here for now, and as you can see, we got to epoxy those. I've got them, put them in, get all set up, and this is what the engine looks like. We refreshed it. It is dirty, and unfortunately I've got to buy a certain pulley so I can take this stupid stuff off, but right now I couldn't get any other dual pulley yet, so I just went ahead and put the small thing on, but nothing's hooked up. Sounds great, by the way. We'll start it up in a minute, and you can see we did the whole epoxy. My boy did all the body work and the epoxy, and I appreciate it. Did a really good job. Dirty as all get out, of course, right now, but that's fine. But a really good job. We're probably going to get it cleaned up and hopefully get the front end done and the rear end done and such in the next couple of weeks, and at least take it out to a couple of shows before this year's over with. Nothing fancy. This thing's not a show car by any means. We're going to have different color parts everywhere, but you can see it's coming together nicely. Got all the trim off. I'm going to have somebody come out and take out the glass. You can see behind me all the parts that are junk that we pulled off and all the good parts. Bumper. The best part about this whole thing, you have to forgive the interior is a little dirty right now because we've been doing a lot of work on it, but is the sound. Now, don't that sound good? Got a cam in it, you can tell. It's got a little I mean, it's a 301, so it's a 301, what can I say? But compared to what it did stock, we refreshed the engine, all new gaskets, new cam, new hydraulic lifters. I mean, you know, just went through the whole thing and did everything we could. We did not rebuild it, didn't want to spend that much money. I'm personally looking at finding a 455. So anybody might have a 455 out there that would shoot me up, I'd be fine. Probably won't be done this year or next year. We want to get the body done and painted, but it is drivable. It does sound good. It's going to make people, you know, give you that muscle vibe, and then we're happy with that. So, like I said, this is David Moss with the 1980 Trans Am Restomod, just getting her going, showing where we're at. Like I said, I do apologize about all the video that we've lost, so we didn't get to show a lot of stuff we did, but it's coming out really nice. It looks really good. All of it's been redone. There is no Bondo crap on this, just a little bit of body filler to flush it up, but the metal's been completely redone, restored professionally by me. It's looking really good. I'm really happy with it. It does sound good too. So, like I said, I do appreciate it. If you like, if you want to leave a comment, leave a comment. Tell us what you think. Tell me if I'm doing a good job, a bad job, you know, I don't care. Tell me what you honestly think. We gotta get the glass pulled out when I go before long and put new seals in it. Right now we gotta tarp it up every time. As you see, it's cloudy looking outside, so we gotta put a tarp over it just because of the mere fact that we can't have it rain. My windows leak like crazy. But I do appreciate you watching this. Thank you so much, and God bless.